Hello everybody, Frankie here from Vibrant Center for Voice and Movement. And today I'm going to share something that has been missing from the units on the group page, and I keep meaning to circle back to it. And in fact, it's actually one of my favorite ways of warming up my voice. It's not a Fitzmaurice voice work exercise, so all respect to Catherine because I know she does not like resonator work. I love adding resonator work to my work with actors, exploring what their voice is capable of, exploring character voices, and even just building in another layer of nuance in sound. So for example, if I was delivering a line and then I wanted to drop into a slightly lower resonator for a particular word or a particular line, that shift will then translate into different vibration and land on the microphone or land on the live audience in a different way. And so those who are then watching our performance will have a different experience than if we just sort of stayed in the same kind of sound family. And this is a really lovely thing that you can do. You can do it in a way that's very obvious or in a way that is very nuanced. Think of it as a 5% shift in your voice. What I'm going to do is have a video for each resonator and start that way. And so of course it's going to be big as you explore, and I want you to give yourself permission, freedom to be playful and exploratory as you expand what your voice is capable of, as you expand what your muscles can do or have a different engagement of those muscles, and start to experience vibration in your body, perhaps in some different places as well. The more aware you can be of how your voice affects your body, how your voice vibrates in your body, that alone is a really lovely acting tool. Something that I talked about with the attendees of the resilience course last night is that sometimes substitution or big emotional work actually isn't needed in that moment. Working with sensation can be a super effective way of finding shifts, finding subtlety that the camera loves, without necessarily having to mine or create trauma in the body or extreme emotions in the body. It's also a way of being sustainable. So if you're doing something take after take after take, or you're delivering kind of a short line, or doing something that's more like an acting business, this is something really effective. I've also had clients, and this is more the way that I work, is work with sensation and an outward image in the body to even do some of that deeper work as well. But for this, let's keep it a little shallow and exploratory as you start to find it in your own body. Okay, so what I want you to do is we're going to start with the lowest resonator. And I like to start here because as we go up, sometimes habits start to come up, or opinions or stereotypes around voice and the way that we should sound. For some predominantly women clients that I've worked with, but not only, also there's been a lot of love for being able to speak from the guts and the pelvis and the lower back area if it's not an experience that they've had. I had one client in particular, and she loved working with the double bass, which we'll do today, as well as the cello, which is the next one, because she habitually had a voice that was very breathy and very much up here. And as we expanded what she could do with her voice, she found that when she needed times when she felt that people weren't taking her seriously, when she was feeling a lot of emotion and she wanted to be able to support herself, that sounding up here wasn't necessarily illustrative and supportive of what she wanted to do. This is simply about giving you your options so that you have more choices to make in the service of yourself and of your characters as you bring your creativity to life, and also as you show up more in your own life. So to start off with, what I want you to do is move your hips around, get a little loose, and bend your knees. I want you to really drop into your lower body and feel the weight of your arms here. And if you would like to add this in, just shrug your shoulders up and drop them a few times. I know for myself and a lot of clients that I work with, shoulder tension and upper chest tension can be something that isn't always conscious, but is present. And so there's something actually very grounding about feeling the weight of the arms and experiencing a little bit of release up in the shoulders. It's also a reminder that everything is connected. We're going to work with something very low in the body, and yet if I have tension up in here, it's going to impact this work. As you're moving the hips side to side, you might crack a little, or just explore some tension or holding. Be gentle with this. You can be really exploratory if you want to. You could write your name with your hips, thinking of using the tip of your tailbone with a pencil hanging down and writing your name, or you could simply find a nice sway. But I want you to build awareness of this part of your body. And if you'd like, you could have a hand under your belly button and let your jaw go. And now I want you to have an image. I want you to imagine that there's a big pot of paint in your pelvis, sloshing around your pelvis as you move. And what you're going to do is you're going to paint the room where you are, exhaling and inhaling on a soft H sound. Just imagining that paint coming up from the pelvis and then spraying a fine mist around the room. And yes, this will be drying, so do make sure that you drink water. One more time. And now keeping that openness in the throat. So what you should be feeling is that the vocal folds actually just have space between them on that H sound. And that's what they do whenever we're making an H, whether we're saying how or hello or howdy. I don't know why. Hello, howdy. Helium, right? Husband. All of those H sounds are simply and I want you to now add a gentle touch of sound so that those vocal folds are staying relaxed. This is also very useful in helping to rest your voice and to be able to release tension here. Keep moving that pelvis around. And maybe there's a desire in the pelvis. The gut is our second brain. There's a lot of knowledge and deep instinctual work here. And when you tap into that, that makes your performance so much more powerful, keeping this open and expressive. So find a desire here in the pelvis and let that desire color the sound that you're releasing. Lovely. And you you can hear that you can be very expressive in pitch. That just because we're working with a low part of the body, that it doesn't mean that all of your sounds have to be low. They can go everywhere. Let's try one more time, working from desire. Lovely. So there's something beautiful and rich about this part of the body in that it can inform vibration on a really visceral level. This isn't an intellectual thing. And you may feel a little bit dumb as you do this. That's healthy. You may salivate a lot as you do this. Excellent. So the next thing I want you to do is we're going to pick up our double bass. So picking up a double bass instrument, and you're going to repeat after me. Double bass. Double bass, double bass, double bass, double bass, double bass. Double bass. And now we're going to put down the double bass. And I want you to find your friendly monster. And your friendly monster is looking for a friend because he's lonely, and he's going to say hello. Hello, Jello. Hello. Good. And so now if you have a little bit of text, you might practice speaking from this place. You might say something like, tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow creeps in this petty pace from day to day, to the last syllable of recorded time. And take a moment here just to feel what this feels like. Where do you feel sensation or vibration or awareness in your body? Absorb that information and know you can come back here and explore it whenever you want. And take a breath in and shake that out gently. Lovely. So even the simple act of integrating that into your warm-up, into your practice, is really, really valuable. I can already feel a greater awareness of connection to my lower body. And when I get very animated or a little bit anxious, it's very easy for me to kind of lose that and even sort of feel like I'm unstable on my feet. And so being able to drop in is so valuable. Also, it then gives me a little bit more range and support down here and a little bit of color. It's like you're just adding a tint to the sound of your voice, and you can pick particular words or particular lines that you'd like to add a little extra. And again, now what I'd love for you to do is warm it up, feel that 100%, and then use some text and speak in the range, the voice that you typically use, and see if you can use just about a 5% or a 10% or a 20% or a 50% into the double bass, and really get comfortable blending and just thinking perhaps of an image of just contacting that lower part of your body. Again, it's not necessarily a pitch thing. It can go up high in a pitch and still feel very connected and have this warmth of the pelvis in there. But it just gives your voice a little extra and it gives you a range of musicality that you can then bring to your performance so that you have so much to offer. And it's a beautiful way to give information. So sometimes we have text and our characters are not actually saying what they're thinking, but how they say it is very revealing. And how rich that is for the audience to be in on what's going on. That their word choice may do one thing, but their tone of voice is doing something else entirely. This is what we do in our lives. So often our voice gives us away, even if we're trying to use the right words and try to convince somebody of something else. How amazing is it then to allow your voice to show what the reality of the landscape inside the character is doing in that moment. So I'm going to leave you with that. That's a lot to chew on. And I will be bringing you the next resonator, perhaps in the next video or two. Oh, take a breath for yourself and this work that you've done. Beautiful. Take care of yourselves, take care of each other, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.